ready to hear from Julia now? Okay, so direct your comments at Julia after.
Grief is a universal human experience. And one of the things I've learned about grief is that it's not that different from music in a lot of ways. And that my musical background really helps me in dealing with grief. If you think about all the times that we celebrate the loss of life, there's often music involved. And music is a very important part of the ceremony. Think about 9/11 and how important music was at that terrible time. One of the songs that was played so commonly, Barber's Adagio for Strings, which is a very powerful piece that grips most people right here. And the power of music to heal. And I'm lucky because I can play music as well. And for me, in working through my own grief, playing my flute is very helpful. And the flute is the closest thing to the human voice. And so if you don't happen to be a flutist like I am, you can still use your voice, whether you're trained or not, because it opens up the throat chakra. And music, of course, is vibration. And so it's all very healing. Emotions are vibrations. And you can play or sing or listen to music that is in resonance with whatever it is that you're feeling. And music, of course, so often reminds us of someone or something. And so it's a powerful memory tool as well, and can, again, be very helpful in the healing process. Interesting thing about music, I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but you can't have music without the silence, right? Because if all you ever had was the continuous stream of sound, you'd have chaos, not music. Now, for those of you who aren't musicians, you may be surprised to learn that we have a special word for the silence in music. It's called rest. Interesting, isn't it? And so it's inviting us as well, right? If you even look at a piece of music on the page, notice that there's a white page and there's black ink. But if it were just all black ink all over the page and there wasn't any white, right? That's what the rests are. They're the space, they're the silence. And that's so important when we're grieving and processing, to have that. And in music, we have all kinds of words and symbols. We have things that look like railroad tracks, and that means a pause. And we have a thing that looks like a bird's eye, we call it a fermata, and it means to hold. And we have a thing that looks like a comma, and that's a breath mark. And there's another one that's a pause in music. So we have all these different ways of notating, slowing down, breathing, pausing. You can see how music can help you to process. And the last thing I want to say about music, of course, is as musicians, we practice. Very important thing. And practice is both a verb and a noun, right? There's the art of practicing, and we're all practicing all the time, whether we realize it or not. The question is, are you practicing what you choose to support you in creating what you want in your life? Or are you practicing by default? And the second part of practicing is the noun, having practices to support. And in grief, there can be all kinds of wonderful practices you can create to support you. So music and grief are really, music can be a tool to help you deal with grief. Thank you.